In this video, I'll demonstrate the forgiving method of long division. In the forgiving method, it relies heavily on your multiplication skills. So if you like multiplication, you're going to like this method, especially if you like multiplying by multiples of 10 and 100. In this first example, I have 365 items that I'm trying to split up evenly into 4 groups. Now in this method, I don't have to get the exact answer right away. I can work my way up to the right answer. Here's an example. If I try to give 100 items to each of the 4 groups, I would have given away 400 items. That's too much. I only have 365 items. So 100 is too high to start with. I'm going to try 50. Now here's where multiplication comes in. I'm going to multiply my divisor by the number that I first started with on the right. So 4 times 5 is 20. Tack on the 0, and I end up with 165. So out of the 365 items, I've given away 200 of them, leaving me with 165 items left. Well, I can still split that into 4 groups. Because I know my 4s, I'm going to guess 40. Well, 4 times 4 is 16, tack on the 0. That got me really close. In fact, I just have 5 left to split up. And I can do that if I put 1 in each of the groups. And 1 times 4 is 4. I subtract, leaving me with 1 that I cannot split evenly into those 4 groups. Now, to find out exactly how many items go into each of the groups, I just add up the column on the right. 50 plus 40 is 90, plus 1 is 91. And I do have that leftover one on the left over here, and that becomes my remainder. So I'm able to distribute or split 365 into 4 groups by giving 91 items to each group, and then I'll have that 1 left over. And now on the right, I'll show you what happens if we don't use the same numbers as we did on the left. Maybe I only wanted to start by giving 20 to each group. Well, I'm still going to multiply my divisor, 4 times 20. 4 times 2 is 8, tack on 1 0. Wow, that's 80. I really didn't give much away. In fact, I'm still left with 285 items. I could probably up that a little bit. Well, I'm going to try it again. Because I know my 4s, I'm going to try to get close to that 285. I'm going to try 60 this time. 4 times 60 is 240. There, that's better. That looks closer. And that leaves me with 45. And once again, because I know my 4s, I'm going to multiply that by 11. 4 times 11 is 44, leaving me with 1 left. Now that's as far as I can go right now. So to figure out exactly how much of the 365 goes into each of the groups, I add up the right column again. 20 plus 60 is 80, plus 11 is 91. And I have that remainder over here. That's 91 remainder 1. And if you notice, it's the exact same answer as I have on the left. And that's why it's called the forgiving method, because you can work your way up to the correct answer, taking your time using numbers that you know how to multiply. Let's try a larger number. In this case, I've got 1,624 items to split evenly into 6 groups. In setting up the forgiving method, I need to figure out what number should I start with over here that would get me close to start with. Well, if I started with 1,000, 1,000 times 6 is 6,000. That's too much. That's way too much. But if I started only with 100, that would give me 600, but then I still have 1,000 to go. That could work. Let's try 300. That's probably closer. So 6 times 3 is 18. Tack on 2 zeros. Well, I already see something wrong. Maybe you can see it too. But I only have 1,600 to give away. this number here should not be larger than the number that I start with. Can't be larger. So this is wrong. 300 is too big. So I'm going to have to choose something that's less than that. Well, if 100 gave me 600, well then 200 would give me 1,200. That's pretty close. That leaves me with 424 left. And I see a number that really works well with 6. Do you see it down there, the 4 and the 2? I know that 6 times 7 is 42, so 6 times 70 is 420, leaving me with 4. And I can't break down that 4, or I can't distribute or split up that 4 into 6 groups evenly, so I'm done. So now all I need to do is add up the numbers on the right-hand side to see how many each group gets. The 200 plus 70 is 270. And don't forget, there's this leftovers over here, that remainder of 4. So my final answer is 270 remainder 4. And that's the forgiving method of long division. Try some yourself.